Alright guys, it's Jake, as far as you know. Alright guys, so the main part of this video is actually about something that's happened to me very recently. I went to Blackpool with Adam and Matthew, and the train ride back was just the most odd thing I've ever seen. But before that, I've got a couple of things to talk to you about, talk to you about, because you won't really be talking back much, funnily enough. First little thing, I'm really sorry that there's been like a bit of a large gap between my last two videos. That's because I've been very busy with planning. I went down to Bolton a couple of weeks ago, that was very fun. Went to see the rest of my family. I also went to Blackpool last week, which is why there was a big gap between my accents and impressions video and this one. So this is like a bit of a catch up, tell you what I've been doing over the past couple of weeks, and it's an explanation of why my next couple of videos are going to be a bit different. So yeah, as I said, I went down to Bolton a couple of weeks ago to see the rest of my family, which was really good. Saw both sets of grandparents. The strangest thing happened on the way to Blackpool. We had to get a changeover in Preston. When we stopped, we were stood on the platform to get onto the next train between Preston and Blackpool North, I think it was. So we were stood on this platform, and there was an old man, rather large, slightly mangled face, and he was talking to this group of little, how old would they be? About 11, 12. And he turns to me, Matty and Adam, and he says, "Dear God, it's an ugly convention. Be careful, kids. You might turn out like them when you're older." As I'm sure you can imagine, there were a few choice words going through my mind at that moment, but I decided to ignore him and walk away, because I'm a nice person. But that's not the scariest bit. When we actually got to Blackpool, we were sat having a bit of lunch, dinner. We went to say them both together, like dinner, dunch. And I was sat there with my waffle, Belgian waffle with syrup, because I have good taste. And I heard his voice, this same man, and I slowly looked up, and there he was stood. He works at Blackpool. I so wanted to just walk up to him and say, "Oh look, it's a fat convention. Don't eat too much, kids, or you might turn out like him." Decided not to, because I might get thrown out of the park after just paying about £40. That's an exaggeration. About £30. God. Third time lucky. After paying about £20 to get in, I didn't really want to get thrown out by a fat, balding, mangled-faced man. After getting off the train at Preston, me, Matty and Adam decided to discuss what people would think if it was the first time visiting Blackpool. And just as we said that, the trademark symbol of Blackpool appeared in front of us. A couple of men wearing drag. That is just Blackpool down to a T. You could not think of a symbol better. Possibly a beer. After being in the park, we decided to go for a wander around Blackpool, because we hadn't been there for quite a while. As we walked down the main promenade, which is 2 miles straight, after the first quarter of a mile, we had already seen 20 men walking around in morph suits, 5 men walking around in hot pants, memories, 10 groups of women walking around in barely anything. I mean, they may as well just have been wearing nipple tassels and a pair of bikini bottoms. Oh yeah, and about every 5 to 10 steps, we were asked if we wanted to go to a club. I don't just mean any club, I mean a strip club. And we were asked if we wanted discounts. They said they could get us in for free. Said if we wanted personal lap dances, they'd arrange them for us. Being 16, we wanted desperately to say yes, but we decided not to, because that would have been wrong. Almost forgot, while we were in Barrow, force of habit, while we were in Blackpool, we met up with Billy, who I've mentioned many times, and his brother Josh. Speaking of Josh, he's asked me to give him a bit of a shout out, because he's trying to get his music channel up and running. Not like a TV channel, that'd be amazing. He just does covers of songs and things. Check him out if you get time. He's really good guitarist. Anyway, as we were walking up the promenade, we walked into a shop, thinking this might be a nice place to get a few souvenirs or something. And as we walked deeper and deeper into this shop, we discovered knives and guns and ammunition. This was a place that was selling rock, as in the Candy Rock, not rocks. That'd be kind of pointless with the beach being just over the road. They were selling candy dummies, selling Blackpool Tower models. It was just strange. Oh, and we also found, in the same shop, they were selling bongs. As in, yeah, you know what a bong is. And a special mixture of tobacco called skunk. I wonder what that was. If I was to describe Blackpool to you in very simple terms, it would be this. Blackpool by day is a family place, where families can go and enjoy its many amusements and attractions, knowing that they are safe. But as soon as it turns 8 o'clock, it turns into a place for men and women to go and quite simply to get hammered or see a strip show at one of its countless bars or nightclubs. It's a place where people can come together in a boozed up brawl of transvestites, prostitutes and strippers. No, that's a bit harsh. I do like Blackpool. I love Blackpool, in fact. It's an amazing place. And it sounds like I'm trying to cover my own backside here, but I do love it. It's a great place to go, especially the Pleasure Beach. I love that place. I sound like a child. A young child. As I was saying, the main part of this video is about the train ride back, because it was quite simply one of the strangest experiences of my life. I got on the train, and we could hear drunk people down in the carriage. At the train station, it was filled with drunk people. People all over the place just tumbling about and going, I need a hand. Me, Matty and Adam got the train back. We managed to find, by some miracle, a table with 4 seats facing each other and a table in the middle. That's what we wanted, because then we could talk. Otherwise it's kind of awkward with there being 3 of us. The rest of the carriage was drunk. Quite literally, everyone. I half expected them to fall out of their seats as we went round a gentle curve. Just saying. Sat just across the carriage from 3 of us was a man we called the philosophical drunk man. Because him and his mates were just sat there going, it is what it is. And his mates were going, it is what it is. It is. And once they started, me, Matty and Adam started, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, it is what it is. There's no simpler way to put it. Greatest time for getting your words muddled up whilst making a video. No. Greatest time for philosophy, apparently, is when you're drunk. Seem to make sense of the world. Perhaps we should get the Prime Minister drunk. Maybe then he'll be able to sort out this mess. Just saying. It's the same man throughout this whole story, the philosophical drunk man. I'm just going to call him that because I don't know his real name. I know one of his friends is called Stevie for the simple fact that about 10 minutes through the journey, he shouted at the top of his voice, "Go on, Stevie lad, go on!" And his mate, apparently Steve, said, "Yeah, go on, let's be loud and stay on the train." The philosophical drunk man later in the train ride turned around and said, "I am the Keymaster." I don't even want to know what he was talking about. I'm sure it was an interesting story. But about 15 minutes into the train ride, the philosophical drunk man actually came over to talk to us. He just walked up and said, "Excuse me, mate, could you 3 move down the carriage, because we've got a few mates and they want to sit at that table so they can talk to us across the carriage." Me, being the nice person that I am, seeing that the drunk man needed help, said, "Okay, that's fine, I'll move." So we've all moved up the carriage, and we just sat down there, minding our own business. When about 20 minutes later he comes up and he says, "Have you been here all this time? Between the 4 of you, there must be a reason." I'm sorry, what? I mean, I know drunk people aren't supposed to make sense, but I mean, if we've been sat there all this time, how are we supposed to know what he's talking about, for 1? And 2, where did he get the idea that there were 4 of us sat on the seats? There's only 3 of us. So Matthew turned around and said, "But there's 3 of us." And he said, "Yeah, but there's 4 seats." Matthew said, "But there's 3 people in the seats." And the man said, "Yeah, but there's 4 seats." This heated debate went on for about 5 minutes, explaining to the man that because there are 4 seats doesn't mean that there are 4 people occupying them. I think he thought we stole one of his beers, because he had like bags of beers sat on the train. I thought it was illegal to drink in public. But he was distracted, because further down the train, another group of drunk people were singing Happy Birthday. So what did he do? He decided to join in. Very loudly. And he didn't even know the people. And during all this time, I was making notes on the fact that I was going to put this in my next video, and like writing down what's happening, which is what I'm actually reading now. And not during all this time, Adam was staring at the window, going, I get very worried about him sometimes. And he must have got into the singing spirit, because as soon as he stopped singing Happy Birthday, he began singing the Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Very loudly and very badly. It actually scared me at one point, the fact that he got right up into your face and started screaming. He also tried to get Adam to join in by putting his arm around him and singing. That was fun to watch. As soon as he got into the famous Galileo bit, if you haven't heard the song, go watch it. Listen to it, rather. A security card. Oh God, I'm tired. It's only 9 o'clock. A security guard walked down the carriage, quite literally, like this. During all this time, the man was stood, Galileo, until he noticed the security guard behind him when he went. Wasn't quite the end though. When he was asked to go sit down in his proper seat, he decided to go past Matthew like this. Needless to say, we sat in hysterics for the rest of the train ride. Matthew and Adam got off one stop before me, so I was left on the train with the drunk philosophical man. And, of course, where did he get off? That's right, he got off at Barrow-in-Furness station. That's completely it for my notes, so from here on, I'm on my own. My next few videos are going to be a little bit different. That's because I'm going to Scotland tomorrow. But I didn't want to leave you in the dark, so I've decided I'm going to film a couple of vlogs off my iPod in the hopes that I can post them straight away and you can get watching them and we can all be happy and skip with unicorns and go on a rainbow ride. As you may have noticed, in my videos I do a lot of cuts. I won't be able to do that in Scotland because I won't have a computer to work off of. So, my next few videos are probably going to be incredibly short because I'm going to have to retake and retake and retake until I actually get the video right. And I can't do an 8-minute video like that because half the time it'll just be me stood there like this. Yeah. Nice weather, because believe it or not I actually find it quite hard to think of something to say on the spot. Also, in my vlogs, Robbie will be there. Robbie's going to be in them, in the next couple anyway, because I'm going with Robbie, as I've explained in the past. So yeah, that's about everything I wanted to talk to you about. I know I said I wasn't going to do any more shout-outs, but just a quick one. Andy Pratt is one of my really good friends, and he is doing YouTube videos. He is a mad wrestling fan, so if you're a mad wrestling fan too, you'll probably like his BCW videos. I've been to see a couple of his shows, and they are really good. I mean, it's only an amateur thing, but it is really good. So check out his videos. He's also done a couple of videos called Random Nonsense with Carl Brown. His username is quite simply Pratty2000, so that's there. In case you can't hear me, because I know my microphone's dead. I need a new one. So if you know anyone who's got one going spare. Well, that's about it for today, I think. As always, post a comment, tell me what you thought of the video, like or even subscribe if you're feeling generous. Add me on Facebook, on my page, the link is down below. Add me on Twitter, the link is down below. Or ask me a question on FarmSpring, the link is down below. I've been Jake, as far as you know, and I will see you again pretty soon.